All right, next in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, they've added a large section of the book towards the back on environmental hazards. Basically, they're talking about ways to totally alter the environment that the characters are in, no matter how it started or what it began off as, whether it's forest land or desert or a town, whatever. Just imagine if the environment around them completely changed. And they're going to look at the first one right here called Blessed Radiance, but they got several other ones they want to talk about too. So right here in the beginning, they tell you, this section explores how to add fantastic challenges to any locale and ways to further bring an adventure setting to life. So it's all the setting, the environment's going to get changed. When a creature's name appears in bold in the table, it'll be in the monster manual. They're going to have that table a little bit further along. So here in these supernatural regions, not all lands thrive as nature intended. Magical forces, strange interlopers, or tragic events can alter an area's destiny, fundamentally changing the land. While the flora, fauna, structures, and inhabitants might remain unaffected, the land's innate character takes on new qualities. A supernatural region is permeated by a natural force in an area, as large or small as you wish. So it might be a little small glade in a forest, might be a town, might be a continent, whatever you want. In the affected area, certain effects and brief encounters reinforce an underlying theme, so all these changes have something in common. These effects occur as characters traverse an influenced region or add interest to a specific location. The descriptions of the following supernatural regions summarize the region. They'll present a table of potential effects within that area and note triggers. You're going to summary of the region, a whole lot of different effects which could occur. You roll a D100 and then talk about triggers that start it all. Feel free to customize as you want. The effects of a region occur whenever you please, at the time each description suggests, or under one or more of the following circumstances. And here are just some possible options. Maybe all these changes start as soon as the party enters the area. Maybe somebody has to lose some hit points. Maybe somebody needs to cast a spell or use a magic item. Maybe they make a loud noise or bring attention to themselves some way. Or maybe it's after a certain time limit, whatever you want. So the first new environment they want to look at is the one called Blessed Radiance. The grace of the upper planes touches this region, so this is going to be nice effects, not something harmful like some of the others primarily have. Consider rolling on the Blessed Radiance effects table when the following circumstances occur. So you've got something you can roll on when something happens such as this right up here. A creature succeeds on a saving throw, which has been compelled by a fiend or an undead. In other words, the evil has attacked. A creature is the target of a cleric or paladin spell, whatever level you want. Maybe a creature scores a critical hit against a fiend or an undead. A creature may experience an epiphany or inspiring triumph in the service of righteousness or in defiance of wickedness. So if any of that acts as a trigger, what happens when it does? Well, here's a bunch of different examples they give you. Roll your D100, 1 through 6. Golden light fills a 20-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder, centered on one character in the region and then fades. That character and their friends in the cylinder gain the benefits of the divine favor spell for 1 hour. Feel free to change that spell into whatever you like. Next, radiant energy erupts in a 10-foot radius sphere, centered on one random creature in the region. Each creature in the sphere that isn't undead regains 3d6 hit points. Each undead in the sphere takes 3d6 radiant damage. Aberrations, fiends, and undead in the region have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks for 24 hours. Each creature carrying the holy symbol of a deity from a non-evil plane while in the region gains advantage on saving throws for the next 24 hours. One character in the region is suffused with celestial power. For 1 minute, the character's melee attacks deal an extra 2d6 radiant damage on a hit. That's a good one. One simple or martial weapon that is non-magical and carried by one character in the region gains the properties of a mace of disruption for 24 hours. A flying, gleaming sword, and they use the flying sword stat block in the monster manual for this, appears within 60 feet of an aberration, a fiend, or an undead, which becomes the sword's target. The sword deals radiant damage instead of slashing damage and knows the exact location of its target while the target is within the region. The sword vanishes when it or its target is reduced to 0 hit points. One character in the region hears whispers from celestial beings or refrains of celestial choirs. The character can ask those voices one question as if they were using the commune spell. So with that one, they might gain some very useful knowledge of the area, whatever it is they may be asking about. After that, aberrations, fiends, and undead in the region give off a crimson glow for 1 minute. The creatures shed dim light in a 10-foot radius. Attacks against them have advantage if the attacker can see them and the creatures can't benefit from being invisible. Celestial power explodes in a 30-foot radius sphere of divine light centered on an aberration, a fiend, or an undead creature within the region. Each creature in the sphere must make a DC 15 con saving throw. On a failure, the creature takes 4d6 radiant damage and is blinded. On a success, they'll take half damage and they're not blinded. One character in the region feels a profound sense of purpose and gains the benefit of the Bless spell for 1 minute. Again, swap the spell if you want. They can choose 2 other creatures they can see to gain the spell's benefits as well. A booming voice thunders in Celestial and can be heard throughout the region. Each creature in the region must make a DC 15 con saving throw. On a success, the creature gains 2d10 temporary hit points. On a failure, the creature is deafened for 1 minute. One creature in the region gains the ability to cure afflictions for 1 hour. As an action, they can cast Lesser Restoration or Greater Restoration without expending a spell slot and requiring no material components. That was a really good one right there. The effects of a Hallow spell, save DC 17, with one of its extra effects, DM's choice, settles over the region for 24 hours. An angelic voice rings throughout the region. Each creature there must succeed on a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or perform the grovel option of the command spell. One character in the region permanently gains resistance to necrotic damage. Reroll if you've already seen this one. And then lastly, one character in the region gains the ability to use the Divine Intervention Cleric feature, which succeeds automatically. The character can use the feature granted in this way only once and must use it within 7 days. Reroll if you've seen this one again. So notice this radiance effect right here, Blessed Radiance as they call it, is going to be very helpful to the characters and definitely harmful to anything evil, aberrations, undead, or whatever. So there's just one way you could change the environment. Of course, swap any of this up any way that you see fit, but that's not a bad little start. We're going to look at some other environments too, some of them much more harmful. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Till next time, good luck and good gaming.